Welcome to the City Current Show, powered by Higginbotham Insurance and Financial Services.
This show focuses on sharing good news and powering the good in our community. Now here's your host, City Current CEO, Jeremy Park.
Welcome back to the City Current Show, powered by Higginbotham. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're always honored to bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making a difference and powering the good. And in this case, we're talking about an individual starting a movement to help families and children in Haiti. We're honored to have with us Jeff Ponchillia. He's the founder of Change the Stars. How are you doing?
Outstanding. How are you?
Doing very well. You are a perfect example of someone who goes on a trip, sees a need, and starts a movement. And so let's go ahead and start with this trip that literally has changed your life back in 2013. So take us on this journey of where the journey begins.
In 2013, I worked for a charter school that dealt with at-risk kids in Nashville, and the school lost its charter. And then that summer, I was planning on going to Africa and just wanted to do some kind of mission trip. And my family was involved with a hospital in Haiti, and they asked us to go down and see, what our money's doing there, pretty much. And I went and spent the summer in Haiti. I spent 6 weeks. And while I was there, I had a motorcycle and got to kind of travel around, and it was a small town. And in doing so, having the education background, I saw the needs in so many schools. There were schools with, sticks holding up sheet metal to keep the weather off the kids. Most of them hadn't had books at all for 5+ years. It was just a massive need that I saw. And also while I was there, I spent a couple of days in Port-au-Prince at a house they kind of kept us in, and there was a lady there actually just using the Wi-Fi. And I started talking to her. She told me about an orphanage that was really close, that was in pretty bad shape, underfunded, amazing kids. And when I went down, I took duffel bags of candy and toys. And so I went to that orphanage and visited, and I was there for 2 minutes and fell in love with the kids. They were amazing. And that's pretty much where it started. And it's grown and grown and grown since.
We'll definitely talk about the education, the hospital, the orphanage. All of those are, key pieces of this in terms of what you're doing and the impact. Share a little bit, because obviously Haiti, unfortunately, is in the news right now when you look at the gangs, the violence, and what's going on. And for so many who are just good people kind of caught in this chaos, right? Like, talk about kind of what you're seeing and where your heart is in terms of raising awareness for Haiti and what's going on for the individuals there.
Haiti for years has been the poorest country and the hungriest country in the Western Hemisphere. I think a lot of it started with COVID. There's so many NGOs and nonprofits that go down there and do great work in Haiti. And when COVID hit, people couldn't travel there. So the desperation that was already there got worse and worse. And during that, the gangs started to get more power, and that's grown. And now it's pretty much like a civil war there. It's, there's 3 million kids not getting enough food right now. And then you don't have the ability for these nonprofits and NGOs to go there safely. So it's just compounded the problem, and it's hopefully things get better soon, but we shall see.
So let's dive in, because on your end, I mentioned the education side, it's books, it's resources, it's scholarships, the hospital side, and also obviously the orphanage too. Go ahead and talk about launching the nonprofit and all the different focus areas.
Yeah, the first trip down, it was the area I was in is Petite Rivière de Nip is where it is. And it's about 3 hours from Port-au-Prince. And that's where the hospital was. But I spent a lot of time in the community. And while I was there seeing all the need at the schools, that and the orphanage were the first things, the focus of helping those kids at the orphanage, and then there's 12 primary schools in that town. So did some things. A couple of the schools that had the sticks and sheet metal built classrooms, and it's pretty much brick-o blocks with a sheet metal roof, and then started providing books to the schools. And that was the beginning of it. So it was continually helping in those 12 primary schools and then the orphanage, and we had to move them a couple times. It's hard to get rental properties for orphanages. Pretty much, it's the number of kids, people don't want to rent to them. But so it started there, and it just kind of grew from there. We were helping the primary schools And then there were 6 secondary schools in the community. And to me, you can provide food and healthcare, and that saves lives, but it doesn't change the situation. And again, my education background, to me, education is really the only way to create real change, generational change. So those 6 secondary schools, the top student from each of those schools, we started giving scholarships to whatever degree they wanted to go after, whatever trade. And it started with those 6 schools. And now we have 15 secondary schools, plus some of the kids actually from the orphanage that are at universities right now. But it kept growing. There's a children's hospital. And I heard about it for years. And honestly, I was scared to go because I heard it's heartbreaking when you see these kids, and they typically deal with malnourished children. So probably 6 years ago, I went and visited, and it's one of those places you walk in and it's just tears run down your face. It's malnourished kids, and you think they're 6 months old and they're 3 years old just because their bodies haven't developed, because they haven't had any kind of nutrition. And you see kids that are lifeless. But over the years, like, I was so focused on that. In the last couple years, I've seen the progress. It's the kids that are running around that are healthy, that they've kept for months, and get weight on them and get them back to health. So now it's easier for me just because I see the progress. The sad thing is a lot of those kids are going to go back to the same environment of starving again, especially right now with the conditions are so bad. So it's grown from that. And recently I was down about a month ago, 3-4 weeks ago, I was down in Haiti, and the children at the orphanage, we have 18, we have 3 more. I think next week they're going to come from the children's hospital. But I was down there, and the kids we have at the orphanage, they live great lives. All of them know that they can go to a university and study whatever they want, or go to a trade school, their choice. But they have hope and they have dreams. And to see these kids that you would think have no hope, they do. And so while I was there, I talked to a couple of people. I'm like, I want to get the funding to where we can do another orphanage, because our kids are happy and they have dreams, and they're going to be successful, and they're going to be able to take care of themselves. Because at 18 in Haiti, you turn 18, they have to put you on the street. Well, kids are in the orphanage, so they have nowhere to go. So you have the boys end up in gangs, girls end up in prostitution. They just don't have hope. So I had that conversation about wanting to do another orphanage, and came home, and a week later I got a message literally on Facebook, and it was about another orphanage that was in need of help. And did some research. The guy that oversees everything in Haiti did a lot of research as well, and it's 63 kids, no running water, no electricity. They have 5 mattresses, so most of the kids sleep on the floor, and some of them even have to sleep on the ground because their home is small, and not eating much. So I wasn't ready. Somebody was ready for me, and but it was literally a week and a half after I made that comment. It's like, oh, here you go, it's time. And so now it's trying to find the funding to get them a well dug, and get them the electricity with solar panels, and then get them all in school. Education is a huge focus, just because it will give them the tools to survive. And there's so many people that are in that situation in Haiti right now. But yeah, so it's grown and grown. It was probably 3 or 4 months ago, with the conditions so extreme in Haiti. The first visit I had down there was a small school, and it was like upper teens, low 20s, and they were trying to learn English. So while I was there for that 6 weeks, I spent a lot of time with those children. And a few months ago, I got a message from one of them. We're all friends on social media. He asked me to take his daughter. And so we talked, and I'm like, asking, what the situation was. And he had moved to Port-au-Prince and had a wife and a daughter. She was getting ready to turn 2. And the gangs took their building, the whole area, and they fled, luckily quick enough, because a lot of those people who get caught don't survive. And he's like, I have no way to take care of her. And he's like, I can deal with me suffering. My wife can deal with herself suffering, but I can't watch my daughter suffer. And it just hit hard. So no way I was going to take her from him. So we started doing food distributions to their family, and Killy is the guy that oversees everything in Haiti. He's been part of it since it started, and spoke with him for a while. And there's millions in that same situation, and I can't touch them all. But so decided in that same community where we help the schools, we're doing food distributions to a number of the families that have smaller children, and the mayor of the town and then the church leaders all came together and kind of picked the 150 families that were in most need. So it's been doing that every month, and it's typically rice and beans and pastas and those kind of things, at least to give them some calories and some help. But yeah, there's needs everywhere, and it's hard to stay focused on one. But the funding restricts a lot of what you can do.
But I think, one, you just coming on and sharing your heart, sharing your experience, sharing, what you're seeing, I think is really important, because so many, I think, want and will get behind you to be able to lift more and help more families. And I mean, it is one of the stories, kind of like the child on the beach throwing the starfish back in. You see him everywhere, and the man says, why are you doing this? And he's like, well, I made a difference to that one, right? Like, with every family that you're helping, that's a family, a generation that you're able to transform, because you're stepping in and pouring in. And while you're seeing so much need, being able to do all that you can to help lift creates a tidal wave of possibilities and, good momentum that hopefully will carry forward, and getting more people involved to be able to help. And I think you become a mouthpiece for what's possible to get more people involved, which is really important. Share, though, a little bit of that perspective in terms of how the community can get involved, because, when you talk about being able to really help another orphanage, right? Like the financial support, the food, there's a lot that goes into this. How can the community help?
Right now it's financial. Something I've done the last few visits, the last couple of years, I posted something on social media and just stating needs a lot. Like the Children's Hospital, they don't have the funding. It's a couple nuns that run it, but they were literally having to call their family members to get formula and medicine for the kids. So we completely took over that, and we provide the food and the medicine. But I post things on social media, and a big need is like powdered Pedialyte. And it's expensive because you got to take the powder just because of weight, but you can't send anything to Haiti. So everything that goes, I have to be able to carry. The last 2 trips, I've had a friend go with me that's an extra 200 pounds of things we could take. And mostly it's stuff to the Children's Hospital and laptops for the scholarship students. But right now it's financial. Working on our NGO in Haiti. And if we get that, we'll be able to fly things in, which will be a massive help, especially now with the new orphanage. The food we'll be able to take down, don't have to deal with customs. And so that is the goal. Hopefully next 3 or 4 weeks we'll have that handled. But right now it's financial. I'll post stuff on social media if it's Pedialyte or formula. Then I do like an Amazon registry, and it's been amazing because people that don't have a lot of money but want to help, it's a $10 pack of powdered Pedialyte, or people that want to help more, a box of 100. But a lot of people have stepped up, and it's been a massive help expense wise, because every time you go, I'm probably carrying $10,000-$15,000 worth of goods, and that adds up every few months. Hopefully I can go back soon, but yeah, so now it's mostly financial. If we get our NGO and I can actually get on a plane with stuff, and the Department of Defense has a program for NGOs there that they'll fly the stuff down there. So when we get to that point, it's going to be a lot of going out trying to get rice and a lot of baby formula and those kind of things. But currently it's really just finances is what I need.
And you yourself, good example, 100% obviously goes to, and all the effort. So that's an awesome piece of it in terms of 100% going to the mission work. And you yourself, even, when you look at getting back into kind of a corporate job and putting that money in yourself. So share a little bit of that storyline.
After the charter school closed, I was focused on Haiti and did some other things. But a couple of years ago, as things have grown, right now we have 33 students at universities in Haiti, and this September it's going to be 47 that are on scholarships. I've needed more and more money, and honestly, I've had a hard time going out asking for it. So I went back. I'm working for Wesley Mortgages, doing mortgages now, but 100% of what I make, my commission, every bit of it goes to what I'm doing in Haiti. And that's been about 2 years now.
That's awesome. Yeah, I just think you're a great example of someone who doing all the right things for all the right reasons. So wrap up with where we can go to make donations, to get involved and change the stars. So where do we go to learn more? And you mentioned social media and, putting out that information as well. So where do we go to follow your efforts and get involved?
Website is changethestars.org. You can make donations on there. Also Venmo, if you search Change the Stars, we will come up. And then to keep up, the website, you don't update as much. Social media is where you can see it. And a lot of the personal stories of each of the kids and the families that we're involved with. Instagram has a lot of it, and you can do Change the Stars Haiti and you'll see it. And there I update it every trip, and every story I get, it's current with what we're doing there and the conditions in Haiti as well, which are pretty horrific right now. But yeah, those 3 ways, and you can donate through those too. There'll be a link even on the Instagram.
Well, Jeff, greatly appreciate everything you and your family and your team of volunteers and everyone, all your supporters are doing to power the good. So thank you for everything you do. Thank you for coming on the show.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Higginbotham Insurance and Financial Services is proud to power the City Current Show. We're a people-first company that protects what matters most, the families, businesses, and trailblazers that keep our community going. As one of the nation's top independent insurance firms, Higginbotham is a single-source solution for business insurance, employee benefits, HR services, and personal insurance that's customized for you. We're here to serve you, the people you care about, and your community. Call 866-377-1959 or visit higginbotham.com.